Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara, and today I'm so excited because I have placed my 2023 seed order. I have a few more things to get, but the masses are done by December the 29th, which I'm so excited. And one of the things, y'all, there is stuff that is already out of stock. So this video is going to kind of walk you through my process for how I ordered seeds. It's going to pick up from the old video that I did about doing the seed inventory. I'm going to show you what I've done since then, how I strategize to order my seeds this time, and we'll go through that whole thing. So let's go. Y'all, look at all these seed catalogs. Do y'all see this? So many. So for the first time, I bought the Baker's Creek whole seed catalog. It was $14.95. I didn't buy that last year, but I did this year. And it's quite big. It is, let's see, how many pages? It's over 500 pages. 500 pages. But I like because it gave pictures of everything and great detail. So it's a very good resource. So let's talk a minute about seed catalogs and how kind of they work, or what you should be looking for when you're looking at your seed catalogs. Now for me, I'm big into aesthetics. I love how things are laid out and how things appear. So I gravitated towards this catalog, and Botanical Interest was one of my favorites because I love to see pictures of everything, of what it's supposed to look like. And not that they don't all have pictures, but like for this one, for example, this is a new one. I don't even know how I got on this email list. It's called Seeds and Such. I wasn't a big fan of how they had it laid out. It just, I don't know, it didn't work for me. Like, it was a lot of small print. I don't know. It's small compared to, you can see the size difference. I don't know. It just wasn't aesthetically appealing to me. So anyway, I have the Baker's seed catalog that I paid for. I had this one, Seeds and Such. I didn't order anything from them. I'll tell you where I ordered from. The Botanical Interest, which I love their layout. This was a new one to me called Select Seeds and Plants. I did not order anything from them, but the layout was nice. I never even heard of them, but it was nice. Then I had High Mowing Organic Seeds. I did like the way their stuff was laid out, because even when it came time to talk about the different squashes, they had them, you know, based on acorn squash, butternut. So I like the way that they categorized it. When it came to tomatoes, they had paste, they had slicing, they had grape, they had oxheart. So they had them all categorized, which works good for my brain, instead of just putting them all together. So High Mowing is a great brand if you've never ordered from them. And so High Mowing is all certified organic seeds. I also had the Seed Savers Exchange catalog. I did not have this one last year, so I did enjoy that. There are a couple of seeds, and I'll tell you about that, and that's the order that I haven't placed, but there are a couple of tomato varieties that I can only get at Seed Savers, which is why I have that. But they had a very nice layout as well. Then of course Johnny's, I went through that one. And then this is the regular Baker Creek one that's free, that obviously you can see the difference between this thickness and this thickness. So you're not going to have as much detail. And I'm not sure how all they, I mean, you do have some good detail, but I'm not sure how they go from 60 pages to 512 pages. I mean, there's some full color stuff, like for example, you have this, and it also gives you recipes in this book of how to prepare this stuff. So I don't know that I'll do that every time. Maybe I will, because it did have a lot of information. But if you don't have that, this works just fine as well. So those are all the seed catalogs that I went through. I placed my orders with Johnny Seeds and Baker Creek. So those are the two big orders that I did. And the majority of my seeds came from Johnny Seeds. I'm going to tell you why. But first, let's talk a little bit about the seed catalogs, especially if you're new and you're trying to, and it seems a bit overwhelming. So this is my second year going through seed catalogs. I did it last year, and I think I did a video on it as well. So this is only my second time. But of course, with time, you learn. So one of the things you want to pay attention to when you're looking at your seed catalogs is the type of seed it is. So there are heirloom seeds, there are hybrid F1 seeds, open pollinated, and all of that stuff. They're all going to be non-GMO because you're not legally authorizing the U.S. to sell a GMO seed to an individual. So all the seeds are going to be non-GMO, even if they don't say non-GMO. For me, I like to grow heirloom seeds, open pollinated seeds. I did do a few hybrids last year, and I am actually going to do more hybrids this year. And I'll tell you the reason why. So, for me, when I first started gardening, I thought hybrid seeds were bad. I thought that meant it was a hybrid between like a tomato and a cucumber, right? So that was just my ignorance and lack of education. A hybrid just means two of the same type of seeds that they have put together to give it the best, to make a more quality seed that is disease resistant and to get the most out of that crop, right? So you may take a tomato that grows really well, you know, in a certain zone. Then you may take another tomato that's really, maybe it's not as pretty, but it's resistant to, y'all, I'm outside on the patio. I'm in Florida at the time of this video. And the guy with the leaf blower, like, at the next house over, has decided to clear his lawn of leaves. I'm like, while I'm doing the video, which I guess it's his lawn. I guess he can do whatever he wants. But how, the timing. Anyway, now he's on his back porch blowing his leaves. Oh, let's pause for a minute so he can get his spring and porch clean. Okay. Now he's at the front, so maybe we can do this video. Okay, so as I was saying about the seed catalogs and about the different types of seed, you want to make sure that you know what you're ordering and whatever your preference is. There is no judgment. Some people only do heirloom seeds. More power to you. Okay, I started off doing a lot of heirloom seeds. I did a couple of hybrids last year, and I'm doing even more hybrids this year. So, and what I was saying about the hybrids is that it's a mix of two of the same crop. So two tomatoes that have been mixed together for the best quality. So one may be really disease resistant to, you know, the mosaic virus. Another one may be resistant to, I don't know, worms or something like that. They put those together. So when you do a hybrid, you typically get when I say a better product, it's going to be more disease resistant. It's going to not have all of the issues, and it's going to produce more because, again, they are putting the good traits of one tomato with the good traits of another tomato together to make an even better tomato. That's the best way I know how to explain it. So it doesn't mean that you have a tomato that's crossed with a cantaloupe. That's not what hybrid means. That's what I thought. So I'm putting it out there in case there's somebody else like me who was just uneducated, right? So hybrids are not bad. To me, hybrids, you do it for a purpose. So for me, I'm implementing a newer strategy this year in my garden for next year. I picked some specific varieties on hybrids specifically for the greenhouse and high tunnel production. So these crops are bred, made, whatever word you want to use, to thrive in a high tunnel environment. That means high heat, high humidity, right? So they thrive in that. And so I bought some specific varieties just for the greenhouse, and those are hybrid that I want to try out this year. And one of the reasons is, one, I want to try it to see how it fares versus heirlooms, but I also want to really emphasize high production and high yield this upcoming summer on my farm, right? I want to produce more than I did last year, and hybrids have a higher production typically. You're going to get more. They're going to be less disease. So I'm going to get, you know, more good tomatoes than if I were doing heirlooms. Now, in my experience with heirlooms, there are some heirlooms that are great that, you know, especially when it comes to the tomato family, that just have a really good taste, right? So like the Cherokee Purple, the Paul Robeson, things like that. But I'll be honest with you, my Cherokee Purples for the last 2 years that I've done them haven't fared well. Like they don't, they are very disease prone. I'm in zone 7A and in Tennessee. They're very disease prone. They're usually not the most prettiest tomato. Like, it's edible, but it don't look good. So like, I wouldn't give it to somebody. Does that make sense? Now, I may slice it and put it on your sandwich if you're at my house, and you never gonna know what it looked like on the outside. But I'm not gonna, if I was selling produce, I wouldn't sell that. I wouldn't be able to sell it, right? Because it just doesn't look great. Versus when you take a hybrid, so like the Sun Gold tomatoes that I did last year, the little Sun Gold cherry tomatoes, those are a hybrid, right? They look great. They were very disease resistant, versus some of the other ones that I did, like the Cherokee Purple was one that stands out. It just did not do well for me in terms of presentation and how it looked and overall performance. So for me, again, I'm doing more hybrids, and I have some crops that I did specifically for the tunnel this year that I wanted to try out, and hoping to get a better yield, better performance. But that's the strategy for my farm. That may not work for you, and that may not be what you want to do, and that may not be what's needed for you, right? So it's really important when you're ordering your seeds that you know what your goals are for your garden, your farm, your tunnel, whatever it is that you're doing. Are you doing it? Is it just you? Are you feeding a family? Is it to market? Is it to give some away? Like, what is the goal? Because that should drive how you order seeds, right? So on the last video that I did about seeds, we did the whole seed inventory. So you first want to see what you have, right? And we went through in the video, we went through all of my seeds, and we kind of cataloged, okay, this is what we have, this is what we need, and started there. And I'm telling you, doing the seed inventory first is going to save you money. I know that it saved me money, because I was like, ooh, let me get this. And I went back to my list. I'm like, you know what? I don't need that, right? I saw all these different kinds of cucumbers and all these different kinds of lettuces. And I'm like, I only bought one new type of lettuce, because literally, y'all, I have tons and tons of packets of lettuce. I have tons and tons of packets of cucumbers. I did not need any more cucumbers, right? I have plenty. And so I resisted instead of buying more, but that's only because I looked and saw what I had. So inventory, check your inventory. That's number one. Number two, what are your goals for whatever you're growing next year? Is it for production? Is it for you want to have a lot to preserve? Is it for just fresh eating? Is it just for you? Is it for a family? So all of those things matter, right? So think about what your goals are. And so for me, for this upcoming year, my goals are going to be for high yield, high production. That's one of my major goals, because I want to be able to preserve and put up more. Two, I am going to venture into selling some of my produce, and so there's more to come later. So I'm going to try my hand at that. So those were some of my goals as well. The other thing is, now heirlooms, you tend to get more variety, right? So especially when it comes to the tomato family, the heirlooms come in different colors. They typically have a better flavor profile. So again, if you are just gardening for fresh eating and you want to taste the different flavors of the different kind of tomatoes, then maybe you do heirlooms and you don't do a hybrid, because you're not worried about production, okay? So that's kind of the outset. The third thing is, when you're looking at your seed catalogs, again, know what type of seed you want and what you're comfortable with buying. Also, look and see how many seeds come in the packet, because everybody does it differently, right? And also do some price comparison, right? So for me, when I was ordering my seeds this year, Johnny's, it says on the thing that you can get free shipping over $200, right? And so my strategy this year was, I wanted to see how many, if I was going to spend $200 anyway on seeds, which I was, how many could I do a $200 order at Johnny's so I can get free shipping? Because the shipping at Johnny's is like, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks. That's high for shipping, in my opinion. And so I started off with Johnny's. And the other reason is, Johnny's, you can do bulk seeds, and the rest of these, you can't really do a lot of bulk seeds, right? You're going to get a packet at Baker's Creek, but there's not an option for you to get a packet, a fourth of a pound, a half a pound, or like 1,000 seeds or whatever. That's not an option at Baker's Creek. So if you want more, you just got to buy more packets, right? So versus Johnny's, you can get more bulk. You can get up to like 10,000 seeds at Johnny's. So it's great for that, especially if you have a lot of land, a big garden, and you're, again, sowing a lot of seeds. And for me, y'all have seen my space. It's certainly not the biggest, but I have a high tunnel that's 30 by 96. I have an outside garden that's essentially the same size. And then I have 5 raised beds in the back of my house. So I'm going through a lot of seeds, and my goal is to start as many of my own seeds as possible, right? So for me, one packet of tomatoes is not going to work, right, if I'm trying to get into production. So on some of these things, I bought bigger quantities. So that's why Johnny's worked for me. Again, that may not be a concern for you. So that was my strategy, is that I went to Johnny's first and I went through my list. So remember, I had a list on my computer, and I have my computer right here. When we did the seed inventory, remember, I was taking notes on my computer, and I was putting down all the seeds that I needed. And I put like a number beside it so that I had a frame of reference. Like, do I need 2 or do I need like 10, right? And so that would let me know I'm completely out, or I only need a couple. And I also put notes as I was doing my inventory, like, hey, like for example, on zinnias, I got plenty of zinnia seeds. But on my notes, I put zinnia, and I put 2 new colors, new varieties. So that signaled to me, hey, I don't necessarily need zinnias, right? But if I find some that's a new color that I don't have, or a new variety, then get a couple, right? That lets me know, don't get 10 packets of zinnias, only get 2, because that's all that you need. So again, I cannot stress enough how important that inventory is when you're doing your seeds, right? When you're doing your seeds. So my strategy was, I went to Johnny's first. So I pulled up the Johnny's website, and I started going through my list of all the things that I needed, right? And I started seeing what Johnny's had, and I would put it in my cart. Then I started thinking about what seeds I wanted to try that were hybrid. Now for me, because a lot of things I'm trying that are new, I did not order more than, you know, a packet or like 1/4 of a pound, right? Because again, let me tell you something. They are definitely more expensive when you're buying the greenhouse version. So for me, let's say there's a pepper that I'm trying that's specifically for the greenhouse tunnel production, right? One packet of those seeds is like $15, right? Another packet may have been like $10. Well, that's much different than $3.50 buying a packet of regular pepper seeds from Baker's Creek. So there is a price difference. Okay, so again, you have to figure out what your budget is, what your process is, and ultimately, what are your goals? For me, I know what my goal is, so I was okay with spending more money because I want to see. Now, I didn't go overboard. I didn't buy 500 seeds of this pepper that's for the greenhouse. I bought a packet, and a packet may be like 25 seeds, right? So 25 seeds for, let's just say, I don't know, $15 might have been one of them. That's high. Again, when you're used to paying $3.50 or $4 for a packet of seeds, that is a bit of a sticker shock. But if that pepper produces astronomically, right? And let's say I have 25 seeds. Let's say I plant, let's just say half of those, right? You know, let's just say I do 10 of those. So that's almost half. And that pepper produces like an enormous amount of all good peppers that I have plenty to do with, plenty to sell, plenty to give away and all that, then $15 is not going to seem like a lot, right? If I get way better production. And so I want to try it. I'm testing it this year to see if it works, right? And so that's how I had to think about it. It's $15 for this packet, and let's say the packet has 25 seeds. That's high. But if it yields and produces, that's not going to be high at all. Because think about what you would pay in the grocery store for organic peppers, right? During the summertime. I don't know, like right now, peppers are like, like 2 for $3 or something like, they're like $1.50 a pepper. When you go to like Sprouts or Publix or something like that, you can easily pay $1.50 for a nice size pepper. So think about that. $15 divided by $1.50. So if it was $2, it'd be like 7 peppers. So that's probably like 10 peppers, right? 10 peppers, literally, if you bought 10 peppers, you would probably spend $15. So if I spend $15 on 25 seeds, if one seed in one plant is going to produce me way more than 15 peppers. I really believe that, right? I know that it will. So again, it's a different mindset shift in order to think about it that way. But you guys, again, if you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. Do you? But watch me this summer and let's see how it works, because I'm testing it out and I'm going to see. So I got as many as I could from Johnny's, right? And I hit my $200 mark, so I got free shipping, right? I ordered them last night, got the notification this morning, they have already shipped. Now, I'm going to warn you, there was stuff on there's probably on my list, there are at least 6 or 7 items that I could not get because they were out of stock. They were out of stock at Johnny's, they were out of stock at Baker's Creek, and some of the other ones, right? Corn was one that the varieties that I wanted were out of stock or back ordered. Eucalyptus, I wanted to order some eucalyptus, out of stock. What else? There was a certain pepper that I wanted, out of stock. A certain tomato I wanted, out of stock. So already, if you have not started to order your seeds, go ahead and start putting your orders in, because things are going fast. And most people start to order seeds in like January, February, which is why I always try to do mine this last week of December. I did it last year and it worked out great for me. And so that's why I did it again this year. So I got $200 worth of seeds from Johnny's. I will do like a seed unboxing and show you guys what all I bought and all of that good stuff in a later video, and show you some of the new stuff that I'm trying. Then I went to Baker's Creek, because with Baker's Creek you get free shipping. So that was my next one. And then of course there's some things that you can get at Baker's Creek that you can't get anywhere else. So everything I could get from Johnny's, I got from Johnny's. Then I went to Baker Creek and got the rest of my stuff. Got free shipping on that, done. So now I only have left are the things that were out of stock. And I'm looking to see if I can find it anywhere else. And a few things that I can only get from Seed Savers. That's the only thing that I have left. So there are 2 tomato varieties that I did last year for the first time that are paste tomatoes that I really, really liked. That's the Opaca and the Salvatore Select. I can only find those at Seed Savers, so I have to do like a 3rd order. Which, again, I haven't paid for shipping yet, so that's good. But the majority of my seeds this year came from Johnny's and from Baker Creek. The other thing I want to talk about is that when you're looking at your seed catalogs, they're going to have, you know, different information. They're going to tell you kind of the history of the seed, especially Baker's Creek. They are going to tell you how many seeds are in a packet, so pay attention to that. They're also going to tell you the average maturity date, so think about that as well, right? So there may be a tomato that you can buy that has a 70-day maturity, but then there may be a cauliflower that you're buying that has a 110-day maturity, right? So you need to be thinking about that. Let me use one that's a similar example. There's some lettuces that are, you know, a 30-day maturity. There's some lettuces that are like a 60-day. So again, they're both lettuces, but you may be looking at where do you live? You know, what is your growing season? Like, how many growing days do you have? So you may need a shorter maturity because maybe your summers are not as long as mine. Like I'm in Tennessee, so we have a long summer growing season. I think it's like 120 days, right? So I can grow a lot of stuff and I can do a lot of succession because I have a long growing season. But if you're not in that zone, or your season is shorter than mine, then you may be looking for more shorter day maturities than I am. So that's another thing to think about when you're looking at your seed catalogs. It was something else I wanted to show you. Okay, so this is a great one. This is why the seed catalogs give you more information. So like this is Johnny's, and this is like the lettuce page. But can you see here? It has it categorized by early season lettuce, mid-season, late season, and then all season. So again, it's giving you those that really do well in more of the cooler weather, some that can take a little bit of warmer weather, and then some that are all season long. Again, depending on your zone that you're in. Lettuce is one of those things that for me, it bolts pretty quickly when I have done it. in like May. Once it starts getting hot in my area, like the end of May, my lettuce is bolted and it's gone, right? So I really I'm able to enjoy lettuce more in the fall and in the spring. In the summertime, I haven't really been able to grow as much lettuce. I just haven't found a variety yet that really withstands the high humidity and the high heat that comes in my area. But that's another thing about the seed catalogs, is take your time and go through them. You know, make marks, make notes, have your computer up, whatever you're doing, so that you're ordering what you need, and you know, and knowing what you're gonna get is what I'm gonna say. Also, it'll have an F1 if it's a hybrid. It'll let you know OP if it's open pollinated, if it's organic or heirloom. It'll say that as well. So pay attention to that so that you know what you're getting. What else? Like in Johnny's, it'll tell you this is how many seeds come in a packet, or you can get 250 seeds or 1,000 seeds, and gives you the different prices and things like that. I'm always looking at what's new because I like to see what's the new stuff. So it'll usually, you know, identify, you know, here, you know, if it's new or something like that. I'm like so excited. Like I'm enjoying this slow pace of the winter gardening again, but I am so ready and so excited about next summer and planning all the stuff. But I'm trying to pace myself. I got the majority of my seeds ordered, and of course in the next month or so it'll be time to start seeds. I'll be starting my seeds probably like mid-February for the most part, so we'll be talking about that and figuring out, you know, what to plant, what to start when. And Botanical Interest, if you don't have their catalog, definitely get it, because, and I left it inside in the house, but there was a thing that they had inside of their catalog that had like a seed starting guide, and it had it broken down by start this seed 12 weeks before, start this seed 8 weeks before your frost date, start this seed, you know, 8 weeks, and it had them all listed. So it's a great checklist that was on the inside of this that you could tear out. So if you don't have Botanical Interest, definitely get that, because that's a nice little checklist that I'm going to be using as well. Y'all, I could go on and on, but I'm so excited. Seeds ordered, majority done. I got a few more things to get, but the majority of it is done. So know what your goals are, know what type of seeds you want, order accordingly, and be strategic about how you order. Like if you want to get free shipping, then know what the rules are at the different, you know, companies or whatever. If you got to spend 50, spend 200, but be strategic, right? Get the best price, because some of the seeds, everybody's selling the same seeds, but it's different. So for example, on Seed Savers Exchange, their seeds are usually like $3.25, $3.50, but a packet of seeds may be like 15 seeds for $3.25. You go to Baker's Creek and that same seed is $4 a packet, but in that packet it may be 25 seeds. So you have to figure out the math and the cost analysis to see, well, which one is actually cheaper and which one is better strategically for me. Like if I'm only getting one thing from Seed Savers, but I'm getting 5 things from Baker's Creek, well, it may just make sense for me to move over that one thing from Seed Savers to Baker's Creek, so I'm only paying for that one shipping cost or whatever, if that makes sense. So that's why I tried to kind of narrow down what I was buying into, you know, a couple of different companies or stores. But again, I got to go to Seed Savers just because there's only a couple of things there that I can't get anywhere else, and I really like those paste tomatoes. If you're into flowers, Botanical Interest does really good with flowers. They have a great flower selection, which I did do a lot of flowers this year, but I got them a lot from Johnny Seeds. But it's done, y'all. It is done, and done. Look at this. All my little catalogs. So I want to encourage you, if you have not ordered your seeds, get you a plan together, figure out what your goals are, get you a strategy together. Whatever works for you, what works for me may not work for you, and that's okay. Do what's best for you and your family, but don't wait till the last minute in ordering your seeds. You don't want to be without something that you really want to grow. And this is also a good time to start thinking about if there is something in your local community where they do seed swaps. This may be a good time to think about doing a seed swap. I'm really thinking about doing one in my area in February. So that way, if there's a seed that you want that you don't have, you can swap out for it. I know there's a couple of things that I didn't order because one, it was, you know, I was already kind of at my budget and I didn't want to spend my money on that. So one was like celery. I haven't been successful growing celery from seed. I haven't been successful growing celery. I want to try it. We don't eat a lot of celery, but I want to try it. But then when I was approaching my budget, I'm like, I don't want to spend $5 on a pack of celery seeds. That'd be a great idea at a seed swap. Hey, do you have celery seeds? Can I try a couple instead of me buying a whole pack, right? And then on another example, there was a sale. Oh, that was another thing, y'all. Look at the sales on your seed company. So again, when I went to Johnny's, I started with the sale items first. So they had some cayenne pepper on sale. It was like $2.25 for a packet.
I'm not sure I understand.
Of seeds. That was Siri. There was $2.25 for a packet of cayenne seeds. I don't really need a lot more cayenne seeds, but I got that packet. But then when I was trying to get to my 200, I got another packet to put me right where I needed to be, right? Instead of me trying to spend another $6 or $7 on a packet, I spent another $2. So now I have 2 packets of cayenne seeds, but that's a perfect way. If I do a seed swap, I can give some of those seeds away. That'll be like in my stash of, oh, I can swap these because I don't really need that many, right? So there's all kinds of strategy you can use on seeds, but I hope that you guys are enjoying your winter break. If you're off during this time, we are in Florida. We are having a blast. You see I'm sitting out on the patio. It's like 70 degrees today. It feels amazing. But we're about to go get in the streets and hang out and do some shopping. But thank you guys so much for joining me as we talk about seeds and strategy and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments if you've ordered your seeds, if you've also found that some things are out of stock, or what you're experiencing and kind of where you're getting your seeds from. I would love to know. So put it down in the comments. Until next time, remember, this is all a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you soon.